Hi there. I wanted to take a few moments to give you an overview of the major assignments that we'll see this semester. This is ECED 2010, Healthy and Safe Environments for Young Children, and we'll focus on increasing our knowledge on children's health and safe early learning environments. And as we go through this introduction, keep in mind that the rubric that's attached to the assignment online is what you'll be assessed on. So it's really essential that you take time to review those and refer to them as you complete each assignment. Now, you can find these under the D2L tab course tools, and then underneath there is a spot that says rubrics. So first, I want you to review that syllabus. This is really going to guide you through the semester, and it can answer most questions that may come up. If there are other questions that you have, you can always put them in the discussion board. There's a tab at the top that you can add it to that, and then everybody can kind of see the answers, because normally if one person has the question, everyone has that question. But if there are other questions that you don't feel comfortable sharing with the group, you can always reach out to me directly, and my contact information is in the syllabus. And I ask that if you do plan to call or text, please let me know which course you're referring to when you first reach out, and that way I can ensure that I'm giving you the answers and not having to search through all of my registrations to make sure that I've got the right person and the right course. But I will typically respond within about 24 hours, but normally it's sooner than that you can expect a reply from me. But if it's something that applies to something that needs to go into Dropbox or something that's on a deadline, make sure that you give me enough time, and that way I can get you an answer back just in case I have to reach out to someone else to find out that information. Now, this is the one assignment that you really want to complete as soon as possible. You do have to have a CPR certification with an infant and child designation, and it must be completed and documented to pass the course. If you don't complete this, you will fail the course. That's part of making sure that this course is passed. So you're going to schedule this through whoever you feel best to take this certification through. And then you're going to upload your certificate to the Dropbox. Now, there's a link to the Red Cross website where you can schedule a class, and you have the option to take your class online and then go for practical, or if you want to take it all in person. So if you have a current certification, you don't have to take it again. Just upload your current non-expired certificate to document that you've taken this. It has to be the one that's infant and child on it. But if you have that, you can just submit it to the Dropbox and you're done with that. But make sure that you have that completed, because that is a pass or fail situation for this course. Now, you have some pretty fun projects throughout the semester, and this one is called You Teach It. So you'll be teaching your classmates about the topic that you select. So keep this in mind as you begin to work on this assignment. You'll need to access the discussion board by the date listed in the syllabus. Take a look at that. It's on week 1. Check the weekly schedule to select your topic, and let me know if you're either going to work individually or in a pair. So everybody needs to let me know one way or the other, and then you also need to let me know your topic. Now, this assignment is due in week 4 on the discussion board and in Dropbox. So you're required to watch the postings of your classmates and give feedback and ask questions that you may have. And the original post is to be monitored and engaged with by the author to ensure that all the questions are addressed. So really looking through that rubric, making sure that you have it down pat. Now, this is kind of what it'll look like. Your post should look like this. You'll see the group selection, and then you'll also see, like in the subject line, you're going to put, if you decided that you and a partner are going to work on this, you are going to put your 2 names in the subject line, and then you're also going to put your topic. And in the post, all you have to say is that your partner and you will present on and whatever your topic is. That's all you have to do. But what I do need you to do is, if there are other posts already, look at those, because we don't want to copy topics that have already going to be covered. I've listed some options here. Now, these are just options. You can choose anything in the text that you find that interests you to share with us about, but be sure you're not choosing something that's already been chosen. If you do and you don't change it, what'll happen is I'll assign you a topic that's not being covered, because we need to make sure we cover as much as we can in the course. It is your responsibility to check the discussion board for your topic approval. So once I've seen your post, and I've made sure that you're not copying anybody else's, like doing the same thing as somebody else that's not in your partnership, then I will put approved as a reply back to that group. And so before you move forward with the assignment, you need to make sure that you've got that approval first. So this post counts as part of the overall grade for the assignment as well. So just take a look at that one. If, like I said, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. You have the second major assignment is your emergency action plan and incident report, and this is due in week 6. So you'll post an example of, we're going to call them EAPs, emergency action plan, that includes an incident report. And the EAP should cover various hazards like fire, severe weather, intruders, with evacuation, shelter in place, lockdown procedures, define staff roles, responsibilities, communication strategies to parents and first responders, dispersal of emergency supplies, and protocols for children with special needs. And that's going to ensure like regular drills and family coordination for reunification, all those things. So that incident report should also be included in there. It's just a mock report, and it should have things like the date and time and location, the child's name and age, a factual description of what happened, any witnesses of the event, any injuries or illnesses, first aid that's given or treatment given, if the parent or family was notified, and all the steps for prevention. And then really document this promptly and sign it. And again, this is just a mock of what it would look like, but it's really important that you take the time to kind of create one and also fill one out, and that way you get used to it. And these should be uploaded to the discussion board and the Dropbox. And remember again to engage with at least 2 peers on the original post, and engaged like their original post, and then you need to engage to respond to anyone who responds to your post as well. You have another assignment that's due on week 8. And again, you'll choose if you would like to do this individually or with a partner, and you'll choose your topic. Now, the goal is to create a catchy resource, a public service announcement that you could distribute to families, and a presentation. So it's going to have visual and audio for us, that would be useful to inform families about whatever your topic looks like. So you should maybe have a handout to go along with your PSA, your public service announcement. We want to make sure that we have something that we could give to others, so that they could understand it better, and then giving a good audio and visual representation of why it's important, things like that. So check that rubric to make sure that you understand all the parts and pieces that go into this public service announcement. But again, you're going to go back to the discussion board. You're going to choose who you're going to do it with, or if you're going to do it by yourself, and then what you're going to present about. Again, I give you a list here. This is just a list that's options. You can look through the text and find anything else that you find intriguing. So just remember to look over your classmates' postings first to ensure we're not selecting the same topic. This is a first come, first served, so I will look at the time that things are posted, and if it's repeated, I'll reassign the person who posted last, to get a different topic. So be sure to check for a reply to your topic from me that has your approval before you begin your work. The discussion board is open. You can post as soon as you'd like, but ensure you've posted your choice and how you're going to do this, if you're doing it as a partnership or if you're doing it by yourself, and your topic no later than week 7, because this assignment is due in week 8. Now, there's some pretty heavy topics that are going to be covered in week 12. It's about abuse, ACEs, and toxic stressors. So some students may find this a little difficult to make through. So for this assignment, you are going to be required to create a discussion post about what you learned from the chapter. So it's pretty open-ended. So you don't need to disclose any personal information that you don't feel comfortable sharing. Keep in mind, we're a community of learners, and this is to really encourage learning. So as you reply and you read your classmates' post, be sure to do so with an open mind and do it gently. We want to support one another along this learning journey. And you'll also need to submit a copy of your post to the Dropbox for grading. So just remember, you don't have to go very deep with this, but I do want to know what you learned from this, if there was something new that showed up for you or something that gave you a little bit more insight to maybe something you've already dealt with before you've gotten to this point, maybe on your journey. You've seen some of these things. It would just be nice to see that you can apply what you're learning to either what you think you're going to see in your future working with children or what you've already seen working with children. This one's a fun one. Now, this one's your nutritious snack, and it is due on week 15 on the discussion board and the Dropbox. This is an individual project, and you're going to create a nutritious snack that you present in a classroom. So you can choose the age group. So it could be toddler, preschool, or you could even do school aged. And you choose the age group. Let us know which age group that is when you're presenting this. There should be a recipe and a video and or pictures that show the creation setup steps, how you set this up, if you were doing this with a group of children, and the resources that could be used to follow up or extend this nutritious snack into an activity in the classroom. Now, you can present this any way that you want to. You can use PowerPoint or Canva. You can record in Panopto or Sway, anything that you would like to do that's going to give us access to see how you do it and what your thoughts are. Because you'll also present a little bit of a reflection in there too. So make sure, again, that you've looked at that rubric really closely when you start this coursework, each one of these assignments. Here's another one that's due. You've got all 15 weeks to work on it on the discussion board and the Dropbox. This one's due. This is your health and safety game. Now, this one's a big one, and I want you to create a game for children. Again, you choose the age group, so toddlers, preschool, school-aged, that can be used to educate children in a fun way about health, safety, or nutrition. The requirements are that you need an age-appropriate rules, and it has to be fun and interactive, and children must be able to learn about the topic that you select. So take a look at that rubric and the examples posted. I've posted examples for each one of these assignments that you can refer to, and this should take some thought and innovation, so take time to plan it out. This should also be something that your classmates could use with children that are in their care. So it must be durable and reproducible, but really think about how you want to create a game that you could use in any of these settings. Now, there are 3 quizzes, and as you can see here, they're on weeks 5, 11, and 14. And you can use your notes and your textbook to help you on these, but my goal is really for you to learn. So if you find yourself taking more than 20 to 30 minutes per quiz, you may want to spend more time studying and being in the material. These quizzes really should not take more than 15 minutes, but if you find yourself breaking that 20 to 30 minutes per quiz, you're not going to have retained enough information to really say that you've learned this material. So making sure that you've taken the time in the material, in all the supplemental material, not just the textbook, to really understand what it's asking for in these quizzes. Now, you also have 6 discussion board postings that are not linked to assignments. So you're expected to read your peers' post and add to the discussion. We want to make sure this is deep conversation, just like if we were in a classroom, that inspires your learning. You must make your own original post and reply to those that comment on your post, and then reply to at least 2 other peers' posts. So as you can see here, you've got them on weeks 1, 2, 3, 10, and 13, and then finals week. Now, you have to participate each post, and most of your things that are submitted, if they go on the discussion board, you must make your original post no later than Thursday at 11:59 p.m. There will be points deducted if you post late. And the reason why is because your engagement impacts the whole group's ability to make meaningful connections. So try to post that as soon as possible. And then you need to reply to the comments on your post and the 2 other replies that you need to make to peers' postings by 11:59 on Sundays. Now, again, remember that what you do in these discussions really impacts how other people can make connections to it. So ensure that you're helping to support the learning community that we're trying to build here by making sure that you're posting on time and asking questions and adding to the conversation. Or if you know of a resource, adding that into that discussion post. I really look forward to this semester with you. I am a instructor that makes sure that all the assignments and the discussion boards are open from the time I open the course. So please work at your own pace to complete each assignment by the due dates that's listed in the course weekly schedule. You have that. It's a part of your syllabus that tells you exactly when everything's due, when I'm expecting to see it posted, all those things. But everything is open and available to you. So go ahead and dive in. Reach out to me at any time with questions or concerns. And I look forward to a great semester learning alongside each of you.